Hello and welcome to Lopack, the Mighty Station Calculator tutorial. I've just showed on a previous video how to load in the baseline. From here, now we can go into the TMSC tab. In this tab, you're able to import and export different data, and it will also calculate station range or XYZ from station range. So you can click the help button here and it will go over all the different inputs and outputs and how to do it. To use this, you just click what you want to import. Let's say CSV, you want to convert it to a DXF. You just hit convert and it will explain how to import and how to export. And if you want to learn more about shifting data, you could just hit that and double click to get rid of the message and uncheck to not see it again. And you can click any combination and it'll explain how to do it. So let's import data. The first thing we can do here is import in an XYZ. If you would like to shift data, you would just click that as well and click done. It'll bring you to the shift data screen. When you're importing data and you click shift, it will shift data before it does the station range calculation or the XY calculation, depending on what you're importing. You can see if you're importing in a station range, this would be not blacked out, but the XY would be blacked out because you can only shift the data the type of data that you're importing. So here you can shift it, the X values in the positive and Y direction, or positive and negative direction, sorry, and the Z same way. The difference to level is just like if you're making like a difference map sort of thing. You could just type in a level here, which could be your grade, your target, depth, whatever it is, and it'll calculate from the Z values the difference to this level. Same thing here, if you wanted to type in a level, and it will remove all the points greater than, equal to, less than, equal to this value. If you wanted to invert the Z value, you would click this. Now if you wanted to invert the range value, let's say that you're on most projects, to the right of the baseline is positive, but let's say to the left of the baseline on your project is positive, you would just select this and it will adjust the calculations accordingly. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to shift any of this data. So we can open up a survey and you can see that this is a survey in a 15 by 15 grid. Now we can export the data. Well, let me go over here. You can see that it took the XYZs that we uploaded, converted to station range. The ID is just in numerical order. If you were loading in manual entry, a target file, line file, something that was associated with an ID or name, this column comes more in handy. You can also see the leg column here, and this correlates with which leg of the baseline these coordinates are for. So now we can export the data. If you were to shift data now, it'll bring up that same screen from before, and it will shift data after the calculation. So it will not recalculate the station range or if you bring in XYZ, you won't recalculate anything. It will just basically just shift the data from this point, which is opposed to the importing. So let's say we want to export this data to a DXF. Oh, I have it selected, but we'll just click done. We don't want to do anything there. You can create from your imported data polylines, circles, line segments, text, 3D polylines, or donuts. The 3D polyline will pull the Z value from the Z column. Let's say we want to do circles. Circles with crosshairs and labels. The labels come from the ID column. You can select any color you want. If you would like a custom color, then it will bring you to all the AutoCAD DXF colors here, and you can cycle through all the different colors or type in your favorite color. If you do choose to go for the text, the sounding comes from the Z column, and it doesn't put the XY coordinate at the decimal like HiPack does. It puts it in the bottom left-hand corner of the number. And I'll show you what I mean by that shortly. So let's export this, and it will automatically save with today's dates and coordinates. You can change it if you wish. So let's open that up. C-enter, E-enter to see it. And here are all the points with the appropriate IDs here. Now you can see what I was talking about before is if we were to output soundings here, it would put the XY position of that coordinate right where this blue square is, the bottom left-hand corner of the number. It won't put it where the decimal place is like Lopack does, so just be aware of that. You don't want to use that for bat maps and that sort of thing. And if that was the case, this would be placed ortho mode on here, right here, if it was a sounding. But it's purposely offset because it's just a label. Next thing I'd like to show you is exporting to a number of buckets. This helps to put on the background of the dredge positioning screen, so the operator, you can either have a face soundings or a number of buckets, so the operator knows how many buckets he should be taking in each area. So first you're going to enter the byte of your bucket. If you don't know how to calculate the byte of the bucket, you can just hit this question mark here, type in the cubic yards of the bucket. I'm just kind of typing in something a little arbitrary here. The length and the width of the footprint, that's maybe a little high, but pretty reasonable. Now the target level will just be your grade. Let's just say grade here is 40, or whatever you're targeting. Let's say maybe you're targeting 2 feet below grade, or whatever you would like how many buckets to be to. Then you can export as an XYZ or a DXF. The XYZ will just have the number of buckets in the Z column. You can change the angle of the text. We could just leave it at 0. The height of the text, let's just say 5, and you can either keep it in all black text, or you can change the colors. I've preloaded default colors here, but you can use this diagram down at the bottom to select your colors if you don't like the ones that are already chosen for you. Then hit done, and it will create your bucket map for you. You can save it, and it will now save the sort file or the XYZ file because we told it to save both the DXF and XYZ. Now we can open up that bucket map just to see what it looks like here. And now you can see that the operator has to take 4 buckets here, 3 buckets here. Now this differs from the DXF soundings where the coordinate is actually right in the center of the number. It's not where this blue square is. It's directly in the center of each of these numbers is where the XY coordinate is that's associated with this number of buckets. And we'll round up to the number of buckets. So let's say it should only be a half a bucket. It will put it as 1 bucket. If it's 2 digits, it will also put it in the middle of the 2 digits, perfectly in the X and Y direction in the center. So now you can load this up as your background to your dredge positioning computer. Okay. Next, I would like to show you what else you could do here. So let's say you have you want to just quickly put in whatever you have loaded in here into a drawing, but you didn't want to make a DXF, open it, copy and paste it in. So let's say we just copied circle, AutoCAD circle. So you type in whatever radius you would like. Let's just say 3, and now it's copied to your clipboard. Now you can come into your drawing here, go to the command line, and just hit Control V or paste, and it will put the circles right in there for you. So now you don't have, that was a lot quicker than having to, make a DXF. The same thing goes here for the AutoCAD polylines. The other options you can go through here and in there in the help menu. If you just wanted to copy the data that you see here, including the headers, it will copy that. If you want to print the data, but it will also make line files, target files, XYZs, and bucket files. The line files are a little bit tricky here. If you have unique IDs for each and every point, like this one that you see here, it will only create 1 line. But each of these will be a different point in the line. vertices in the line. If you were to load in, let's load in, well, I'll just load in another line file just so you could see here. This is from the LBI project. And since we don't have the right baseline loaded, it'll come up with that notification. So you can see here that this has, these two have the same ID, these two have the same ID, so on and so forth. So this will be the start of the, if you export it as a line file, this will be the start point, this will be the end point, and then it'll create a new line. As whatever points have this same ID will be put into that line. Okay, if you ever need to clear any of the data, you can use this here and it'll just clear it all out. Okay, thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you have any questions, come to the help, and here is my contact information. Also, if you run into any bugs, please click this button and write a detailed description of what you experienced, and the report will be sent right to me. Thank you.